I have three numbers for you to remember today: 3, 5, and 8. 3, 5, and 8. Usually I begin by saying, hey, grab your coffee and let's sit down together. But today I'm going to say, grab a notebook like this. I bought this big old one at the store the week after school started. They were 25 cents a piece. And it's a spiral notebook. So I bought a few of them and I thought, you know what? They're too big. I'm not even used to, what am I ever going to do with them? They were a quarter. And then I decided this is my planning notebook. This is where I scribble. This is where I brainstorm. This is what I usually, when I reach a plan, then I can tear it out and throw it away. So that's what I want you to do today. Now, if you're driving when you hear this, just purpose in your heart to listen to it again when you get in a place where you can write. But if you're sitting in a place, or stop what you're doing for the next 12 minutes, we're going to brainstorm and we're going to step into the new that God has for us. And it'll be so simple and so profound, so profound. So I call this our turning point day. We've probably had many of them over the years, but this is going to be one of them. We'll look back and say, that was a turning point day. Hi, I'm Karol Horken. And if this is your first time, this is your right time. And if you followed me for a while, this is your right time to turn again into the new. We keep doing that. We keep doing that. Keep turning into the new. So let's look at the number 3. A few weeks back, I was visiting with someone on the phone. A lot of times my revelation comes as I'm visiting with people. And so I just have to grab a small notepad or something and write down what I feel like the Lord was telling us. Usually when I visit with my inner circle of friends, I have my notebook handy because I know God's going to show us something. So anyway, the number 3. And this is what I felt the Lord was speaking to me, to us. This is your time too. And it just rolled out of me. Simplify your life, set it in order, and steward it well. Wow. Simplify your life, set it in order, and steward it well. We've talked about all that, these 3 components over the years, but wow, here it is again. We can renew that plan because we're always having to simplify our life because it always gets complicated. And we always have to set things in order because our little ducks float away and then we don't know what we're doing. So we pull them back in order, and we always have to steward our life well because life gets busy, and then those things that are important to us, we don't take care of. So today we're going to learn how to do that. This is being recorded on January 20th, 2025. But if this is your first time and or even if you're watching this in July, that's your first time. That's when we start. So it's like a diet. You think, oh, I'm going to go on a diet. I'll start tomorrow. No, start today, because that's when God gave it to you, and that's when you're going to start. So think of it. Our 3 things: simplicity, order, and taking care of what's important to us. Doesn't that sound nice? When we do those 3 things, it's like a gift we give ourselves. It's a gift we give ourselves. I even think of a diet that way. When I eat right, it's a gift I give myself because I feel good. So, how do we get started? Grab your planning notebook and write down 5 things that are important to you, that you want to accomplish, that are important to you that you'll want to be known for. And write down 5 things that you want to make a priority, the things you want to develop and work on that are important to you. Many times we have good intentions. We start well, but we get distracted. Life gets too heavy, too busy, too much, and pretty soon we're not doing those important things. So today we're going to come back to that. But I just want to say God is merciful. And today he's waiting for us. He wants to help us. So let's sit down with our planning notebook and let's prioritize and think of 5 things that are important to us. I'm going to tell you what my 5 things are. Maybe yours are a little bit different, but here's an example. But first of all, the first thing should be the first thing for all of us: time with God. Because this is where everything gets set in order. The minute you pray the 30-second prayer, which is in the description below, God begins to align your thoughts with his plan. Father, I commit my day to you, my plans to you, my situation to you. Cause my thoughts to agree with your will. Help me to think the way you think so I know what to do. The minute you pray that, God begins to align your thoughts with his perfect will so you can easily flow through the day. He wants you to flow through his day. Isaiah 55:12 in the NIV says, "You will go out with joy and be led forth with peace. The mountains and the hills will burst forth in song before you, and all the trees of the field will clap their hands." The Message Bible says you'll be led out into a whole and complete life. Not all the fragments, not all the frustrations, but a whole and complete life. Remember, God has a good plan. Jeremiah 29:11. He's got a good plan. Why? Because he's good. And that is what he does. Psalms 119:68. That's what he does. So he's not going to condemn us. He's going to say, well, I've been waiting for you. Come on now. Let's prioritize together. Okay, picture your day like this. It's like a huge corn maze. After you enter the maze, you feel confident that you can find your way out on the other side. Now, without too much trouble, you'll just look around and everything will make sense. But after about 45 minutes, you aren't quite so sure of yourself. You go down one path, which leads to a dead end, and you have to backtrack. You had a good plan, and in the beginning, but now you've kind of lost your sense of direction. Wait a minute, was I here before? Which way should I go? After doing this several times, you become tired and frustrated and maybe a little bit irritated. You're blaming yourself, or maybe you're blaming the people that are around you. And finally, you give up because you come to the end of yourself. This day is, I compare that corn maze to your day. This day is heading for disaster. Well, here's what I want to say. You can stop and pray the 30-second prayer at any time, and it'll all turn around for good. So let me see where I left off here. Finally, we come to the end of ourselves, and there stands a maze employee, ready and willing to help you. He climbs to a tall lookout tower in the middle of the field, for there he can see the whole pattern of the maze, and he knows exactly where you are. I'm talking about God here. He sees the big picture, and he knows where you are and where you need to go. The one who can see everything about your day, your situation, your dilemma, begins to call out the directions so you can walk through the rest of your day. Yes, he wants you to have an enjoyable day. He wants your day to be a good experience. But we need to look up to God before we step foot into our day. We need to look up and say, Father, I roll this day upon you. Cause me to think the way you think, so I know what to do and what not to do. He wants us to have enjoyable days. That's when we move through the day, avoiding dead ends, which cause delays and frustrations, which leads us into making irrational decisions. Ever done it? In a place of frustration, you've made a wrong decision. Oops, now you have a whole new level of problems to sort out. And the enemy loves that sort of thing. He loves to push you in a corner, emotionally, financially, maybe. Maybe you made a wrong financial decision today. And he loves to push you in the corner physically. You're worn out. Your body starts to hurt. He loves that. He's always about separating you from God. But in one 30-second prayer, one little prayer, you can come back into alignment with God. Father, I roll this day, even if it's at 9 o'clock at night and you're going to be up till midnight. I roll the rest of this day upon you. Cause me to think the way you think. I love that he always has a plan, and it's always simple. God has given us the keys to coming out of confinement and limitations, coming out of that tight spot. He says, commit your plans to me, your day to me, and I am here for you. Psalm 66:12 in the Amplified Classic says, you caused men to ride over our heads when we were prostrate. We went through the fire and through the water, but you brought us out into a broad, moist place, to abundance and refreshment and open air. God didn't cause us to be frustrated today. We did that ourselves. He didn't cause that. He's just so good that he's waiting there to help us. He is waiting. Isaiah 30, verse 18, and therefore the Lord waits to be gracious to you. Even when we're making mistakes, even when we say things we shouldn't have, made decisions we shouldn't have made, he's there he wants to show loving kindness and mercy to us. Doesn't that just kind of blow your mind? For the Lord is the God of justice. He wants to bless all those who wait for him. When we pray that 30-second prayer early in our day, then we can just let him lead us. We're not running ahead. We're waiting for him to lead us. He wants to give us victory. He wants to give us favor, love, peace, joy. And here's the best part, his matchless, unbroken companionship. He's not disgusted with us. He wants to spend the day with us. The Amplified Bible says, blessed are those who long for him, since he will never fail them. We can always come back to him even in the middle of the day. When we invite him to walk with us, lead us, and say, please don't let me have my own way, we are honoring him. When we ask for his help, we are honoring him. Just think about your kids. When they come to you, whether they're adult kids or whether they're young kids, when they come and say, Mom, Dad, I need your help, I need your advice, you're honoring your parents. And God, we can do that to God. I have a little friend here at my feet, Ladybug. I hope she doesn't bother us. Okay. We can ask for his help. When we pray the 30-second prayer consistently, when we get in a rhythm of doing it every day and every day, guess what? The answers come every day and every day. And every time you ask God a question, the answers are there. His presence becomes tangible to us. Does it happen right away? No. He's checking to see if you're going to be consistent and you're going to honor him by putting him first. And when he sees that he sees your reputation for consistency, It's a wonderful place to be. Can we still make a mistake? Of course, but we don't have to. Okay, our time is up, but I'm going to give you the rest of my things that are priority to me, just as an example. But time with God is the first thing. Number 2, time with family. Number 3, taking care of myself, my physical body, because if my body breaks down, I'm not good for anybody. So I wrote down some things on my sketch pad: exercise, eat healthy, stay hydrated, get sleep, and get fresh air. So you can brainstorm on your planning pad. Number 4, time with friends, fostering good relationships. That's important to me. And number 5, I wrote down seeking God for his purpose and asking for his help. To me, my purpose is to share with you the 30-second prayer. And so I want that to be a priority. I want to spend enough time on it so that I can be successful for you and bring you these videos every week. First Peter 4:11 says, "Do you have the gift of speaking? Then speak as though God himself were speaking through you. Do you have the gift for helping others? Do it all with the strength and energy that God supplies. Then everything you do will bring him glory through Jesus Christ." So he will, if you don't know what your purpose is, he'll reveal it to you. But if you do know, it's time to be about it. So we have those 3 things in wrapping up. Simplify our lives, because when we have too much to do, we couldn't possibly put everything in order. It just is out there, and it's a hindrance to us. So simplify our lives, set it in order, and steward it well. And God, we can't do it without your help. We can't do it without your help. So stick with me. We're going to keep those things front and center, and we're going to move into that broad, moist place of abundance, refreshment, and open air. Read the description below. Connect with me on all those platforms. Grab my book from Amazon if you desire to, but you don't need to. But do grab this book and ask the Lord to help you begin your plan and make it consistent every day. And we'll talk to you soon.